Breaking news.
Drama! Yes, drama when it comes to Manchester United.
It's all kicking off.
Man United won't break the bank for him. And if Man United won't break the bank for him, they've got other targets.
It's deadline day and we knew we were going to be busy. And it is about the goalkeeping saga. Emi Martinez or Royal Antwerp, Senny Le Mans. Which one is it going to be? First of all, we've put in a bid. We've raised the stake for Le Mans. We really want him. And Martinez is just a backup plan. That's what's being pushed by one side. Then you've got Romano on the other side saying, listen, personal terms agreed with Martinez. He's told Aston Villa he wants to move. He wasn't in the team last night. And all we know is that Man United are the team that are in for him. So it's not like somebody else is negotiating for him. I don't know what it's going to be, who we'll end up with. But what I do know is we're going to get a goalkeeper. And for me, it has to be Emi Martinez. I know there's some worries about some mistakes here and there. And some people are doing loads of comps and the mistakes that he's made. But I don't know if you've looked at Andre Onana any time. I don't know if you've seen our goalkeeping department at any time. If you give me the opportunity for a couple of years to bring in a World Cup winner, someone who's been playing a top 6 team for the last few years, who's one of the better goalkeepers in the league, he's one of the top goalkeepers in the league, I'm taking that all day. No need to wait to settle in. No need the shirt's too big for him, Jeff. I worry for him, Jeff. None of that. Emi Martinez walks straight into Old Trafford with big cojones and understands what it's about to play for a big club and to be in the pressure cooker moments. That's what he is. Yes, he's a bit eccentric. Yes, he's going to make the odd mistake here or there. But we need someone who's strong in the box, can claim crosses, and ain't shook and ain't rubbish. And that is Emi Martinez. Now, if it's Le Mans, he's highly tipped as well. Great. We'll talk about it afterwards. But if you're asking me to choose right now at 9:08 on deadline day, get me Mr. Emi Martinez. And shout out, it's because I was in the Bizot thing. Shout out Unai Emery. Marco Bizot. Ironically, Bizot had a stink on it. They got bought 3-0. But anyway, Owen, it's deadline day. There's loads to talk about. Antony, here we go. Sancho to Villa as well. What's going to happen with Malacia? Like, it's all going off. Not anything on the midfield at last minute.
Yes, as Flex said previously. Yes, that's what the phrase is for. That's what it is indeed. Yes, we've got nearly 1K watching already. We're already over 100 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button. Be sure to subscribe to United View if you are new. Less than 250 subscribers away from 205K. Oh, we've got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to be talking, as Flex said, about the goalkeeping drama. Yeah, drama. That's how the show kicks off. Drama in between the sticks.
That line's iconic now.
Drama. I know. Drama. So Emi Martinez or Senna Le Mans, which one's it going to be? It depends who you listen to. 1 minute it looks like it's going to be Martinez. The other minute, others are saying, no, it's only Martinez. If they don't get Le Mans, they still want to go with Le Mans. So we're going to be talking about that. Antony, Real Betis tried to pull a fast one on us. Real Betis tried. They tried it. And they came crawling back and said, "Oh, actually, about that, yeah, we'll that offer that we said wasn't a thing. It is a thing. We got to hear we go on that this morning." As Flex said, Jadon Sancho to Aston Villa. That's a possibility, separate from this Emi Martinez to Manchester United stuff as well. And we've got other exits, other incomings could possibly happen. It's deadline day, so we've got plenty to talk about. Let's start off with this goalkeeping situation because it's really kicking off yesterday. Flex had to do 2 Flex's views because there was so much going on and stuff changing all the time. So this is the latest. Fabrizio Romano said last night that Emi Martinez has told Aston Villa he wants to join Manchester United. He has said, I want the move to Old Trafford. It's a clear message again after the game, of course, which he wasn't involved in. He wasn't in the squad. Marco Bizot. That was the reason why. Unai Emery did kind of expand on that a little bit afterwards and sort of said, I need players that are 100% focused, and Emi Martinez is not that. This, of course, comes after personal terms have already been agreed between Manchester United and Emi Martinez. Talks are continuing around Jadon Sancho. We'll talk about that later on. But Man United are also keeping these talks active with Senna Le Mans, who Aston Villa, ironically enough, will target if Manchester United end up signing Emi Martinez, which has got a lot of people sort of confused because they're going, well, if the Saint-Le deal was so difficult to do, how can Villa think they can do it in mere hours before the window?
Exactly.
It doesn't make a lot of sense. But as we spoke about yesterday, Emi Martinez wasn't in that Aston Villa squad yesterday because he was pushing to join Manchester United. His agent, George Mendes, is leading the case. It was said that after the game last night in which Villa lost 3-0, Man United and Villa were going to have these club-to-club talks. Whether or not they've actually happened, we'll have to wait and see. But again, this all comes after yesterday. The day started with the suggestion that United put a new bid in for Saint-Le Mons, and this new bid was closer to what Antwerp were looking for. Because of that, there could even be a medical yesterday. There was at one point said, "Oh, there could be a medical today." And then when this Martinez stuff started to really gather momentum yesterday, suddenly out of nowhere, Mike McGrath came out and said, no, it's still Saint-Le Mons is the priority. He's still the priority. Man United are still talking to Royal Antwerp. A deal is moving closer. Man United have discussed Emi Martinez just because the Le Mans deal is never guaranteed and they want to have options. They don't want the window to shut. And Man United
don't get a keeper, which
not
is fair
getting
enough.
a keeper, which does make sense. But
meant to do that.
Then, like I said, a lot of other parts of it don't make a lot of sense because if clearly it looks like Man United are frustrated with how these negotiations for Le Mans are going on. They thought this deal was going to be done a couple of weeks ago and it looked like a fee was going to be close. I mean, they're negotiating with Royal Antwerp, right? It shouldn't be that difficult of a deal to do. But it's getting dragged out, it's getting longed out, and they're worried of like, well, window's going to close today and we should have alternatives. And then the Emi Martinez one, they go back to that, and then Martinez is really, really pushing for it, and they go, oh, this one maybe is a bit more likely. But then when Aston Villa go, yeah, okay, if we lose Martinez, we'll go and get Saint-Le Mons instead, then suddenly that appears to be not that much of a difficult deal to do. And then you've got two different sets of journalists saying two different things about who's the priority. It's really, really, really confusing. I mean, like you said, the ultimate thing is it looks like we're getting a goalkeeper. That's a big positive. Either one is a significant upgrade on Andre Onana. Who isn't? Yeah. I'm an upgrade.
Although I haven't seen
Mangan's an upgrade on Andre Onana. Right?
Everyone should be, but I haven't seen the other guy play. The kid.
Well, and this is
never even heard of him until this summer.
This is the thing. This is the thing with the Le Mans. This is the thing with the Le Mans one, right? Obviously, now people are getting into their stats bag. They're going, oh, you know, the pros and cons. They're going Le Mans. The pros for him. Obviously, he's a younger goalkeeper. There's more longevity there. He may be cheaper in regard to his wages because obviously Martinez is older, more experienced, Premier League proven. It's maybe a bit more of an expensive deal. The cons are that he is young, and the other cons are Flex is flying.
Yeah, I'm just making myself bigger. It was annoying me.
The cons are that he is young. He's only really played 1 year of first-team football as a goalkeeper. That's been in the Belgian league. Does he have the experience and does he have the ability to handle the pressure that comes with being the goalkeeper for Manchester United? Is he probably better off in terms of his career of going to a club not as big as United, like a Villa first, before, going on to a bigger deal? I think one thing that does actually work in his favor is, like you said, if people are saying, oh, I know Saint-Le Mons really well, I watch him every week. Unless they are from Belgium, I feel like they must be lying, right? Because
or their job is like a football analyst, like they actually do that. It's just what you are. Yeah.
With Emi Martinez, obviously the problem is the people that would be the critics of him is that we've seen Emi Martinez play in goal every week for a decade. So everyone knows him. Everyone's seen him make mistakes. Everyone's seen him make these errors, and we know his pros and cons very, very well, don't we? So immediately people go to that and they'll go to the stats and say, look, last season he was up there with mistakes with Andre Onana. And I'll go, well,
I keep seeing that stat. Is it actually? Is it?
Yes, but
the thing about that. Is it? We have to be.
This is when I go back to the errors that lead to goal, because what counts as an error that leads to goal, right? Andre Onana has had many mistakes that don't count as an error that leads to a goal, right? Or sometimes a parry out doesn't count as an error that leads to a goal. It's very subjective, that one.
And just eye test, man. Come on, man. In the small condensed period that Andre Onana has been here, you want to talk about highlight reels and just off of the top of your head where you can remember the mistakes. He has stood out like a sore thumb in the time that he's been in this league for 2 years. This is his third year. And in the same time, Emi Martinez, nowhere near it. Nowhere near as bad. Like, we shouldn't even disgrace Emi Martinez by mentioning Andre Onana in the same sentence. Like, I know there's a lot on the internet, people saying, listen, he's led to the same amount of mistakes. look, just use your eyes, man. Forget the minutia of each specific, stat and this, that, and the other. Because, like I said, I started doing this sort of thing when Ugarte was on his way in here. He wins the most duels in Europe and all this crap. And they come here and all the other stuff is so bad, and that one thing is really good. Let's talk about the things that Emi Martinez is good at. Let's talk about the things that he's actually done. David T says Villa fans are happy he's leaving. I don't think they are happy. They might be happy because he doesn't want to be there, so they're like, all right, go then. But he's a good goalkeeper. He's a very good goalkeeper. Yes, he's eccentric. Yes, he does make a mistake here and there. Look. Ironically, he's currently not playing as well before today, because he's serving a ban for getting a red card. Because the last game he played, he absolutely done something mad. Where if Onana did do that, forget. Like I hear it. It's disgusting. But like the overall package of Emi Martinez, I don't know what it is. It's like we're just so scarred from like what's going on. Is that we're saying prefer this kid I've never heard of, never seen play, rather than the guys played in the league for the. I don't get it.
I was just thinking this when I was seeing the chat there, and I thought again I think this is nothing we have to remember. We always do this, right? We as a fan base will always find a reason not to sign a player. So it was the same when we were linked with, say, Gyökeres, or when we're linked with people we didn't get in this window, right? Or even Šeško or whoever. It's why is this club getting rid of him? Or he's too old, he's too young. We've seen him in the Premier League. We haven't seen him in the Premier League. He's too expensive. He's too cheap. We will always find a reason, right? So we're never going to 100%. We're never going to 100% agree on that, and particularly when this situation has played itself as a binary choice of you've got to pick either Le Mans or you got to pick Martinez. That's going to lead to conflict between people because you're forced to weigh up the pros and cons, right? And someone says, and Nikhil says, nobody found a reason not to sign Baleba. I'm telling you, there was still some that were going, yeah, but Brighton, are they taking the piss? £100 million? I don't know. But we always do it. We always do it.
People are doing comps of him now, saying, actually, he's
actually you did dodge the bullet. I'm watching Baleba on my screen. Oh, I don't know about that. We always do it. With, like I said, the Le Mans one versus Martinez, it is very much, is it better the devil you know or the one you don't know? Because the Le Mans one, there are legitimate pros there. That he is younger, and his stats about he's a tall guy claiming crosses, and that he's seen as the heir apparent to Courtois for Belgium, and go, oh my goodness me, yeah, that's great. But I remember a time in which last season we were saying the same thing about Jean-Claude Todibo from Nice about going, he's an ex-Varane. He's an ex-Varane. And we're going to get him in. Varane's going. We're going to get Todibo from Nice. It's going to be an easy one to do. That's what it's going to be. Todibo, get him in. We watch him now. And no one had watched him. No one was watching Nice every single week. But it was just, he's French. He's tall. It's Varane reincarnated. That's what it's going to be. And then we see him at West Ham. We go, he's not that. he's not that. But it's because, like you said, because we've seen people every single week, that's more of a reason to say no. That's more of a reason to say no, because it's a better painted picture, isn't it? You know what I mean?
It's a better painted picture. And I just, for the love of me, listen, clearly we should have prioritized a goalkeeper higher up the list and had this done, a long time ago, right, in the window. But we prioritized 3 forwards before this, and we all said we still need a goalkeeper, we still need a number 6, etc., etc. You have to go with where you're at in the current window as well. And with a matter of hours left, and you need instant impact, like the goalkeeping department's been so bad, so bad. I think people are forgetting. You just know that you can put Martinez there. Well, I say you just. Me personally, I know that I can put him there, and that bedding in period is just not needed. It's just not needed. It's been so shit that you just need someone who's just going to come in and understand what it is. I do agree, though. Obviously, while we're hearing all this agreed terms and Le Mans deals 20 million and stuff like that, we don't know what this Emi Martinez proposal is. Is it 40 million and a 5-year contract, or is it a loan with an option? Is it just a swapsies with Sancho? Is it 15, 25? Is it 25 million for someone who's experienced? Is it what is it? Because we don't actually know what it is. And the last thing I say before I hand back to you is Mike McGrath is saying that we've actually bid for Le Mans. Like we've
Yeah.
put that bid in, and it's down to the player. He could do his medical. There's been no bid for. It does seem more like what Mike McGrath's saying, which is that you've agreed personal terms, so you're ready to go. Like, listen, here's what your contract would look like. Here's wages and length and your squad role. We're not going to put a bid in yet to Villa because we're looking at this. Because if they wanted Emi Martinez, he wants to come to us. Emi Martinez would be our player now. But then we tried to get him on loan earlier in the window. Fact, and Villa said no.
Yeah,
so
that was a bit that went in. So I mean, look, and again, like you said, that's the one thing that is really interesting about the Martinez aspect of it is we just haven't heard really any figures go around since really earlier on in the window. Earlier on in the window, there was that fee that was like 40 million. And that was ridiculous. I mean, to sign a 32-year-old goalkeeper for 40 million pounds is outrageous, but he does have like 3 years left on his contract. Then obviously there were concerns about his wages, again, what they would look like. So you do wonder, has any of that changed? And because even though that I'd be leaning more towards the Martinez one instead of Le Mans, if it is a case of like Martinez for like 40 odd million on big wages, then I'm not interested in that one. I don't like that at all. That's, to me, that's bad business. And then you do look towards the Le Mans one. You weigh up the pros of, well, younger guy, less money in terms of transfer fee and wages. And the thing I just wouldn't get, to me, I can't wrap my head around the idea. Because by all accounts, Antwerp are like going, we want about 25 million euros, something like that for Le Mans. Why Manchester United would go 25 million for Le Mans? Fuck that. We're going 40 million for Emi Martinez. Why we would do that, I just can't. It really makes you wonder, that one. So I'll be interested to see what the figures would be for it. Because if they did that, then they would be opening themselves up for massive criticism. Because you would just go get Le Mans if it's a price issue, right? But there's also, I guess, the other aspect of it, like you're saying, of maybe we've seen with Mbumo and Cunha this idea of, look, we want people that are ready to go right now and we don't have to bed in. Le Mans would be one of those people that he would go straight in because our goalkeeping standard at the club is horrific. But, there would still be this aspect of he's young. He's got to get used to the Premier League, got to get used to how things work in England. Whereas Martinez, maybe you would say that's not the case. He's obviously, look, he's got a huge experience in the Premier League and you don't have to worry that much about mentality. Not that you have to worry about mentality with Andre Onana. That's one of his only positives, his mentality and confidence. But it amounts to nothing. Exactly. But when it comes to Martinez, one of the positive stats is that he does have in the league anyway, I think it was the highest or one of the highest of claimed crosses from, in play, set pieces, what have you. We really struggle with that, with set pieces and crosses into the box. Our goalkeeper can't come out to collect. Senna Le Mans has also some of the best claimed crosses, in Europe last season. And one of the best save percentages or most shots saved in Europe last season. So it's clear that United are looking for a specific profile of goalkeeper. They're looking for that goalkeeper that can claim crosses, dominate at corners, to not have the situations that we've had last season and into this season. And it's just a case of, with Le Mans, do we know that much about him? What price are they looking at? But I just can't. That would baffle me. And I think Ineos would open themselves up to massive scrutiny of, so you said no to Le Mans for 25 and then got Martinez for 40. That makes zero sense. But the only way that it could make sense is like, if they went down to a similar price, maybe. It goes down to a similar price or a price that reflects. How much should Emi Martinez be in today's market? Then you've got a situation where Edison's going. You've got a situation where Edison's going for, was it like 12 million, 15 million, something like that? Is that because of his contract? How long's left on his contract? Edison. Let's do the proper maths. Let's break it down, because you're right. His contract expires 2026, so his contract expires at the end of the season. So he's got the end of the season. He's in his last year. He's only signed a new deal last year. Contract expiry. Let's have a look. Contract expiry until 2029. That's the problem, isn't it? It's until 2029. That's the issue that you have. See what I'm saying, Owen? So just with a quick, like, let's look at what's going on. Let's just see maths. Let's not just go, well, I've seen him make mistakes and he's rubbish, so he should never cost 40 million, versus Edison's been one of the best keepers things ever seen. No, let's get it right. Edison nearly left last year because it's just the end of that tenure, and he's literally about to go on a free. He's in the last 12 months. They've got to take what they can get. So that explains why it's 12 million. Well, it's going to start with
like
the
they say,
Donnarumma thing now, isn't it?
there you go. Donnarumma for 30.
He's got a year left on his contract.
Yeah, left on his contract. And guess what? Bombed out the squad.
Yeah.
Like, for whatever reason, we still don't know. But Luis Enrique said, I take that. Then Le Mans, let's get it right. Let's have this right. He's 20 million. What is it? 25 million euros?
Something like that, yeah.
He's 20 million pounds for a keeper who's playing in not a top 5 league, Royal Antwerp, in his first breakout season. 25 million. So we're not saying that Emi Martinez
he's got 2 years left on his contract, by the way, Le Mans. 2 years.
And he's got 2 years left on his contract for a keeper we've never seen play in a big league and is an under 21 international, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Am I right? So
yeah.
are we
up to the Belgium squad, but he's never played because obviously Courtois.
Right. So he's never made a senior appearance. So are we not? Is it not safe to say that Emi Martinez is twice the goalkeeper that this kid is? For 20 million?
Well, we don't.
So
we don't know, do we? I mean, all Elite says here, why is he for sale? Villa need to get rid. The price needs to drop. I mean, it's an interesting one because I don't actually think he is for sale. This is the other part of it. Is this feels like Martinez is pushing it a lot. Obviously, Villa have their financial issues in PSR, but it feels like they've largely got a grip of that because they were trying to get obviously Paquetá, and that was going to be with an obligation. It looks like that's not going to happen. So they've got the ability to spend 40, 50 million, but he's pushing it. I think it's a difference. I don't think Aston Villa are actively trying to shift him. I think it's one of those ones whereby if they got an offer that they were happy with, they could get him off. Look, they do have to reduce wages a little bit. Their wages are ridiculous in terms of their turnover to wages. It's like 97% or something ridiculous, isn't it? It's outrageous.
It's massive, yeah.
But so they maybe would be looking at getting someone off the wage books. But I wouldn't say he's actively for sale. I think it's more Man United have.
Well, I should think he wants to leave.
I think Man United. I've spoken to him and he's pushing it so hard he wasn't involved in the squad.
He's like Man United. Yeah, he's going Man United. Yeah. Of course I want to go there. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And I don't know. I just think we need to be careful about, like, obviously there has to be a number that you go, that doesn't really make economical sense. But when you look at the economy then, and you look at what keepers are going for with, top experience versus the kid who hasn't, but everyone's saying this kid's on the up, he's the next thing. We've never seen him play versus the guy that we have seen play and has made some mistakes, but is not washed. I don't know. I don't think it's that mad to suggest that this guy's doubled. Plus, even just football business-wise, like I said, Villa gave him a new contract last year. So he's got a contract till 2029. So how could he be cheap? How could he be? Which, to be fair, that's people saying, well, that's why you don't buy him then. All right, fair enough. But for me, I just don't want to be taking chances at this stage. It's not like get him in and make him be the keeper for the next 5 years. I agree with that. In Martinez, but I need someone who just knows the league, man. Just get me someone like just get him in there. Just get him in there. There's no having to worry about this young kid and this, that, and the other. He's a big boy. He can look after himself. You know what to do. Get it between the sticks.
But it says a lot about the whole situation in general, doesn't it? That obviously, look, Donnarumma is available now. He's going to Man City. Here we go on that this morning, but. Clearly, Manchester United felt like that was too expensive, right? Because Donnarumma will go to City and he'll be on big wages. He will. Obviously, the transfer fee might not be super high. He's got a year left in his contract and he's been told to leave. So that'll probably end up being like 30 million or something like that. But he'll be on big wages. He'll be on a big salary. And Man United felt like that was probably too much to do. So he's not going to get Donnarumma wages, Martinez.
No, he's not.
He's not. It makes you it makes you wonder what that would look like.
Yeah.
As well. So there's a lot there we still don't know.
I was just about to say that if it's selling Le Mans, you're not going to get from me. You're not going to get from me. Oh, why? What have we done? This kid's crap. Never heard of him. He's going to be rubbish. Like I say, I've never seen the kid play. Never heard of him. So I will welcome him into Man United and hope he does well. And we have to give him time because he's young, and it'll be a massive step up for him. But. It's the same with Sesko. I remember before Sesko got here, I was like, I prefer Gyökeres, man. I prefer Watkins. Like, I just want someone Premier League proven, someone ready to go. Doesn't mean that when Sesko got announced. And Gyökeres, listen, he did all right against Leeds, but when he's getting roughed up by the big boy defenders, it's less,
you can't do it, yeah.
So I'm saying it ain't that. So, listen, man, there's always pros and cons to everything. Let's get Super Chats read up. Still so much more to talk about on deadline day. Ed the Red, the new puppet on United.
Yeah.
Big up to Ed the Red. What a guy. What a guy. What a person. Honestly, very, very talented. Very, very talented. It says, Owen, Bayindir was my man of the match in a full-time view because his biggest clanger has got us a new keeper. Also, tell people to stop calling me a muppet. Hashtag stand up to bullying.
Yes, exactly. Ed the Red made his debut at the weekend on the full-time view.
What a debut it was. What a debut it was, mate. Things you just don't expect to see in this community, but the community never ceases to amaze you, bro.
Yeah.
Big up to Ed the Red. Hope you keep making him regular appearances. You maybe could be our new mascot, Ed the Red.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Jason says, I see so many United fans against signing Martinez. I just don't get it. I believe I'm with you there, Jason. I don't get it. Tabasol says, big up everyone. What's going on with Diego Leon? He didn't even play against Grimsby. Max 5 out of 10 window. Players arrived too late, and we need a midfielder. Well, Diego Leon, listen, he's just not. The club told me in the summer like that. He's not here to sort of really play like now and play a big role. There's one game a week. Obviously, Dorgu's the senior left wing back. We saw Dallo play there yesterday, the other day. He was on the bench against Grimsby. Mazraoui can play there in such an important season. I just don't think that they want him to stay around. They don't want to loan him, so they think there's something there. He's going to be training with the first team a lot, but we're already out of one competition, so that was his opportunity to probably maybe come off the bench in something.
He's not going to play many games.
He's not going to play. So I reckon by the end of the season or halfway through, they'll probably put him on 21s to get some games, something like that. But don't be too shocked because the plan wasn't like they bought him to be like the starting left wing back, and it's like what's happened to him? He hasn't got a chance. It just wasn't the plan. He literally bought him when he was 17. Tommy says Martinez had more errors leading to goals, not the same. And Villa fans are glad he's going. They're laughing at us. I mean,
it's funny because you do. Obviously, you're on Talksport regularly with Dan Bardell, big Villa fan, and I don't, from my understanding, I don't think
he loves them. Mate, he's always saying how good he is and this, that, and your other, and like honestly, like I don't know, I don't get that. I don't. Maybe there's an odd thread here and there that's saying good riddance to him. This, that, and the other.
There's always going to be. I mean, look at take our fan base for example, right? There's Garnacho's just left. There's people that were happy he's going. A lot of them. There were some that were like Cam's that was like Garnacho's been hardly done by, all this kind of stuff, right? There's always going to be people that, there'll be some that's happy he's leaving, but there'll be some that are really annoyed, and particularly after losing 3-0 that Marco Bizot's going to be their new keeper, right? So
yeah,
it's always the way.
Yeah. Exactly. Jay says Martinez played against Brentford flex. Okay, fairs. Yeah, he wasn't banned for the 3 games. He got a 1-game ban, whatever. But that there you go. He played against Brentford, and then they lost, and he weren't in the squad the next game. Lost again, so he doesn't want to be there, does he? But yeah, I got that one wrong. Sorry. Shunak says Villa need to sell for PSR, so we go get Debu. He's the Debu. That name's so annoying. That's what they call him in Argentina. They call him Debu. Le Mans to sign now to bring him in next year, then sell either of the keepers after the window to Saudi, to Turkey or Saudi. Craig says there's a jet booked from Antwerp to Manchester. Is there?
They probably got planes on standby to go to maybe.
There's probably a V-class booked as well. There's probably a Mercedes V-class booked to go from Birmingham to Manchester as well to get Debu to Carrington.
They probably won't even get in that. It might be in a plane. Do it in like 20 minutes or something ridiculous. It might be that tight,
Yeah. No, we wouldn't fly from Birmingham to Manchester.
They might. They'll get a helicopter.
Look at the carbon footprint there.
Bloody hell.
It's only an hour up the road.
If there was half an hour left, do you think they're driving?
But I think the time it takes to even get the helicopter there.
What if it's on standby? It's on standby. They got 2 on standby.
Half an hour. Now the time it'll take to go to the helipad, I just don't think you could. That's mad. You never know. People go through.
We're talking multi-million-pound deals, aren't we? So you know what I mean. Nothing's off the table.
True. Nothing's off the table. Jason says that United could have changed their mind about buying Le Mans after seeing Vitek performance at Bristol, and don't want 2 young goalkeepers. That's why they want Martinez now. What did Vitek do? Madness for Bristol? Did he mess up?
He's been doing very well. He's been doing.
Doing well. They're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. go back there. I just Shenanigans. Shenanigans says that been talking to Emmy since January. Apparently, he's obviously been our first choice for a while, and we pivoted to Le Mans when Villa refused to deal. You could look at it that way as well. And Jaden says, guys, where's the potential 100 million we had to splash on Baleba? It's a disgrace, especially while Liverpool champions are getting Isak. And that's the thing, like the potential money we had for Baleba.
Next year's deal, wasn't it?
Next year's deal, and they don't want to waste it on now. Right. Okay. Let's move away from Martinez. We'll obviously wait to see what happens. It's going to be a matter of hours before we find out because the window shuts this evening,
just
7 p.m.
Very, very quickly, Flex. Just on that, Darmash has just tweeted. This is always going to happen. This is deadline day for you.
Oh yeah,
Darmash has just tweeted. No, it's different. This is another one.
Oh,
it's in the last minute. It says Manchester United are in talks over 2 goalkeepers: Aston Villa's Emi Martinez and Antwerp's Senna Le Mans. United yet to finalise who, if at all. Chance United will have the same goalkeeping department as they do now. Both keepers want to join United.
They always, you got. I think Garnis is covering every single base.
Bit of scaremonger in there, going, well, look. Basically, he's gone with a tweet of anything's possible in football. Basically, both will fall apart. You might not get either. You know, that's the drama of deadline. This is a deadline day drama, isn't it? Of are United going to get a goalkeeper? We might end up with the same keepers. If we ended up with the same goalkeeping situation as we do right now at the end of the day, people will go mental.
There is no reason to end up with the same 2 goalkeepers because we're clearly talking to 2 and they both want to join. So what's your excuse of not coming back with 1? You know, the only and they must know that there's a chance that the only thing that's interesting is that they. What assurances or how do Man United think about moving 1 on? Like, are they going to envisage that all 3 could be there? Like, if you get Martinez or if you get Le Mans, are they like, we definitely know we can like get rid of Bindia or get rid of Onana, or like, nah, like we spoke to them, they said they're going to stay, but till January we just have to have a bloated, goalkeeping department and then make it clear to, because that's the easiest way to make it clear to either of them. You know, January, you got AFCON, you play that game with Onana, you got AFCON, mate. You know, Turkish window, like you said, it's open later. Saudi window's open later. You make it clear to them, you know, next game out of the international break straight away. I don't even know. Actually, would the other window have closed by then? Turkish window. When does that actually shut?
Turkish window's like a week later, I think. So it's like,
so even during the national break, it's not like we come back against City and those who've been bombed out, and because the window would have actually closed then. Yeah. So either you go down that thing and say, right, for 6 months, watch Emi Martinez or Le Mans be the number 1, and you just don't play a game until January. So you have to leave at worst case, or do they know something we don't know, which you'd expect them to, which is that we think, you know, Bindia probably easier to shift once we explain to, but he's the one been playing. Do you know what I mean? So it is weird.
Yeah. It is very weird indeed. We've got close to 2,700 people watching right now. We are at 551 likes. If you haven't already clicked the like button, let's get to 750, maybe even 1K likes this morning. And as you can see in the top right-hand corner there, just 200 subscribers away, 201 subscribers away from 205,000. So if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. It's going to be a busy deadline day with a lot going on. Speaking of which, outgoings. We've had a lot of outgoings over the last 48 hours, and one is going to be Antony, because even after the madness that happened on Friday evening with all of this, Real Betis United had agreed a fee, then Betis pulled the plug because they weren't happy that they couldn't agree wages with Antony. They tried to pull a fast one, and United didn't fall for it. David Ornstein reporting, saying that Real Betis have indeed reached an agreement with Manchester United to sign Antony on a permanent deal. Initially, Real Betis wanted a straight loan, but a deadline day deal for the 25-year-old is a €25 million package with a 50% sell-on clause. Critically here, there is no termination payments to Antony from Manchester United. That was the thing that Real Betis tried to force through on Friday, which was this whole idea of suddenly Flex, even though we've been going after him for ages, we had no idea how much money he was on and how much, we can't afford that. We got a here we go from Fabrizio Romano this morning about it as well. It is a 50% sell-on clause for profit in the future, not of any sale, profit of a sale. So it's got to be a profit of €25 million. He's going to have his medical in Betis, in Seville. This one is going to get done finally. And like I said, Flex, they tried to pull a fast one. They tried to pull a fast one on United because this is what I was saying about on the match view on Saturday. you've been going after Antony all summer. You had him in January on loan. And during that time, you worked out a deal about how much coverage of the salary was going to be. You're now pretending that I just found out how much money he was going to be on. We can't afford that. We can't afford. Well, our offer's off the table. Our offer's off the table. And like, oh, piss off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no termination payment. I mean, it's not a huge amount of money in terms of, in comparison to what we bought him for. My goodness me, 80+ million pounds. But it's like, around sort of 20 odd million quid. I'm just glad it's another name out the door, isn't it? It's another name out the door. I don't know if it goes to like, us getting a goalkeeper. They might be going towards us to maybe have some flexibility in January as well, perhaps. But they're just good to move on. Gets the name off the wage bill as well, doesn't it? And it's done. It's over.
Yeah,
and done with.
It's just these things like I always say, man. You have to initiate exits here from all of those bad contracts we handed out from before. Already with some of the players we've bought, you can see that it won't be as hard to sell them if something happened. I know Ugarte's not doing too well, and he was quite expensive, but maybe
this is interesting, Flex. Just so it said there about about the salon clause or what have you. So it was said that it was about profit, but then Charlotte Dunker from the Times is now saying that Manchester United's 50% salon clause in Antony's deal to Real Betis applies to any future sale, not to any future profit Real Betis make if they sell Antony. So
that's way better.
Yeah, so some are saying that, so it's only profit, and some are saying, no, it's if they sell him, United get half of it, which then would maybe make sense for why they dropped the price down so significantly. Of like, one, they wanted to get it done, and also they're like, well, we're gonna make that money up in the future.
Crazy as well. That's a lot. I mean, obviously, you have to envisage when next is Antony going to be worth more than 25 million. Basically,
if he did well and he's on to say Barcelona for 50, 60 million, we get for like 25, 30 million. You know what I mean?
Owen,
that's a big chunk of that.
Owen,
we don't think he gets sold. He did well at Real Betis.
Yeah, but he's not going to go to like Barcelona and that, or big like teams. But then it's whether he can go. Like, I don't know, maybe he goes to Saudi for like 50 million.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Maybe
just having 50 million for him. Even if they, so where is, and also it's like
they're selling for 40.
I was just about to say
that's 20 million.
If you sell for 30, get like 15 for no reason. Definitely. It's listen, if you can get rid of him for that considering what happened, fine, because he should never have been. He should have been a 40 million player the first time.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? And now that's dropped now to a 20-25. He should never have been an 80 million pound player. And I saw a couple like summaries of like the outgoings we've had, and it's like, shout out Nathan Salt. I saw he put it down on X. It's like Garnacho 40 million plus 10 sell on. Hoyland 38 obligation loan fee plus the loan fee. Antony, he did do 25 plus 50% sell on, but I think it's like more 20 million in it now with 50% sell on.
Yeah.
Rashford loan 26 million buy option. Roughly, he's gone without even Sancho and Malacia still to do. We've raised 130 million pounds plus, which we haven't got in like permanent sales now. Like it's you've committed to that, but out of what the sins of the past was, it's about the best we could have done, really. The Sancho one was the one I thought we'd get at like 2025. But
that's the one that's still.
His is going to be a loan. Yeah, his is going to be a loan, and then he just walks for free at the end of the season, which is crazy. A crazy end to the Sancho saga. Because look what we bought him for. Look how long we tried to get him. Listen, we're going to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, in terms of money raised, I think the only problem is that you can still see that on paper and go, oh, it's really good, actually, this, that, and the other. But it's all happened so late. It hasn't really enabled us to go and exploit the market after that. But at the same time, the same thing like with the Garnacho thing, we were always going to be in this position. I don't necessarily actually blame Ineos for this, because
it was always building to this, wasn't it?
It was always building to these teams taking the piss, the players going, I'll go when I want to go, fees and
we said it several months ago here on the channel, didn't we? When we were speaking about these lot, we said it's going to be a deadline day or last day kind of thing. The only one that was surprising that happened so early was Rashford. That was the one I genuinely thought Rashford to Barca would be happening like around today-ish. I thought that one's going to go right to the end. Barca are going to play games or what have you. But they didn't. They got that one done really early.
Was like, look at his wages. And he was the one who actually dropped his wages. He's the only one who has.
And in retrospect, it probably got done early because Barca kind of realized, like, we still need to do the whole, like, can we register him stuff? So they have to, like, you know, take time to be able to do that. But I thought that one was going to drag out. All of those members of that bomb squad, it was always going to be last week or so of the window, right? Because, you know, clubs aren't stupid. It's like with the Garnacho one. They know that we wanted to sell and we weren't going to reintegrate. So you push it and you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And then eventually United have to cave, which is what we've done in a couple of these. But it's money in through the door. And like I said, if it doesn't even help us for this window or help us for future windows, and that's the most important thing. And we need to get rid of these players anyway, regardless. Right?
They have
for the longest time. We would say
exactly. They have to go. Little quick update, as we always do. We've got 665 likes. Let's get to 1K, man. Like, we're pushing nearly 3K watching live. Over 2,800 of you watching live. Let's get to 1K to will the goalkeeper on, whether you're in Le Mans' camp or whether you're in Martinez's camp, whoever you want. Just the fact that we get one, because like Owen says, not that there'll be riots, but we will. There's people will be going mad if we don't get a goalkeeper. So to spur that on, smash a like on the video, man. Let's get to 1K likes to put the energy out there to manifest that we're coming back with a goalkeeper. We're not doing John Murto settings when he's off to Spain and that, and comes back with, you know what I mean, no sangria. Yeah, man, we're not doing that.
Just a bit of
a story Whitwell saying.
Well, no, this is an update first from Fabrizio. He was saying that, which we're going to talk about Jadon Sancho in a second, but on a separate note, he says that Emi Martinez and Man United is still on. That's what he's just said. Emi Martinez and Man United still on, whatever that means. Laurie Whitwell, I think, has also posted something. This is all deadline day.
Like the leader, though, man.
So it's going to be. He has said. Well, you know what? Actually, I can press the breaking news button. Thanks.
Breaking news.
What?
Well, it's significant. It's significant. So Laurie Whitwell is reporting here that Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Senna Le Mans, but still yet to sort out a transfer fee with negotiations on. It also says that Manchester United are also in talks with Emi Martinez, but will complete just one deal for a goalkeeper. So basically, the update is now Man United have agreed personal terms with both. Both on the personal term side, both are done, but there isn't a fee with either team. So the moment they agree a fee, I guess, with one of them, then it's like it's
the fee, and that's why about 10 minutes ago I was saying, well, it looks like it's going to be Le Mans because we've actually bid. So Laurie's basically saying that what might be, and this is crazy because they're all kind of in the same rooms. It's not like they hate each other or anything. That's basically shitting on what Mike McGrath said, because Mike McGrath's saying that Man United have bid 20 million, like it's just up to the player now.
Yeah.
So
we haven't agreed
wide of the mark. So we haven't agreed a fee. And Laurie Whitwell, listen, as we know, on a personal, I trust his sources. Trust me on that.
This is the full update, what it says, because it's part of their deadline day coverage. It says, Manchester United have agreed personal terms with Royal Antwerp goalkeeper Senna Le Mans, but there has not yet been a club-to-club agreement on the transfer. The 23-year-old would have to travel to Manchester this morning if the deal has a realistic chance of completion ahead of this evening's transfer deadline, which there's only a couple of hours left of the morning, with Aston Villa also monitoring his situation. Le Mans, whose preference is for a move to Old Trafford and who is valued by Antwerp at €25 million, has his future tied in with what of Villa's Emi Martinez, who has also been considered at United. Martinez was not included in Villa's matchday squad against Crystal Palace on Sunday, and talks remain on with him too. United want to address the goalkeeping situation following errors by Altay Bayindir and Andre Onana in the opening weeks of the season. So but there is a suggestion there from Laurie that we are going to get a goalkeeper, but both are kind of at the same position whereby it's literally like personal terms done, no fee. But that article would suggest that Man United they feel more confident with doing the Le Mans one. That's where the direction that they.
But then again, the way
Romano's just saying like Martinez and United still on.
Yeah, which it is. I saw. Look, everyone's jockeying for position now. This is what's jostling for position. Sorry, this is what's happening. Also, you could look at it, and this is just to throw in another way of thinking, that Man United, they know what the price is for Le Mans. He's valued at 25 million euros. If you know that that is the one, there's no one else that we want you just go and pay 25 million euros.
Yeah,
You've already done the fee. So the fact that you haven't, and you're still trying to go to Villa to find out, like, what is it though? Like, how much would it be? Like, could we get that fee? You're trying to negotiate or find out or discuss the fee for Martinez, which then shows me that actually, if they feel they can get Martinez for a price that they like, they would prefer that, because the price is there for Le Mans. That we do know. That we do know what he's been valued at.
Yeah, well, let us know in the chat, just out of curiosity, where do you think Manchester United are leaning now? Where do you think, are they leaning more towards Le Mans, or are leaning more towards Martinez? Let us know in the chat. What do you think?
I think they're leaning more towards Martinez.
See, I think the opposite. I feel like they're leaning more towards Le Mans. I think with that update there from Laurie, that suggests to me that their preference and the number one, it's Le Mans. But
why though? If they know the price for one, but not the other.
And if Antwerp are going to piss them around, then they'll go and get Martinez. But for me, it feels like they're leaning more towards Le Mans, because that's the cheaper deal to do.
But we don't know if it's we do actually, because of the contract length, to be fair.
Yeah.
But so what are they wasting time going to Martinez for? I don't think that 25.
Well, like Laurie just says there, because when they says the 23-year-old would have to travel to Manchester this morning if a deal has a realistic chance of completion ahead of this evening's transfer deadline. So I think they're doing the Martinez one because they're going, look, if we don't have a breakthrough by midday, basically that Le Mans one isn't happening, we'll run out of time. Martinez is in the UK. We can do that. We know we can get him here quickly. We can negotiate with Villa quickly. We can do that. So I feel like if it's the Martinez one is more of a pivot because they realize with Le Mans, like we'd have to have a breakthrough in the next couple of hours. Yeah, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, and they've agreed personal terms with him as well. It's going to be spare the blushes of him who doesn't get to go there. Martinez, saying you want to be out the squad. Then this, that, and the other. Might not be able to go with that to Villa. I don't know. But then they also know Alexis Sanchez to Sevilla. They also know the price, and it's like, why don't you just go and pay that then? Like 20. What that means they value him less than that. They think that's too high. If you've agreed personal terms with Sonny Le Mans and you like this goalkeeper, and they've told you that it's 25 million euros, which 20 million euros. I don't know if it's too much or too little for that guy. Just get him then. Like you said, the time's running out. So what you waste? Like, say yes,
unless they're thinking is
there a Sancho thing there that they're waiting for?
Yeah, maybe a Sancho thing. Or
if Sancho says yes a little bit later on and stuff, there could be well, I don't know what the option would be, because do we do an option and then trigger his?
You want to talk about PTSD though? Jadon Sancho. Deadline day loans with possible options and obligations.
Exactly.
I'm not interested, because that's what screwed up the obligation last year, is that it was done on deadline day and there wasn't enough time done to agree contracts. Because look at Rasmus Højlund, right? Rasmus Højlund's in Naples at the moment. He's completing his move to Napoli, but enough time was done. He's already got his Napoli contract agreed to when that turns into a permanent deal. If it turns into a permanent deal, whereas Sancho, you might not have enough time to do that with Villa again. So I for me, after reading that update, that update from Laurie Whitwell, that feels to me like well, here we go. Got another update from Fabrizio Romano on the goalkeeping situation. He's just posted saying, as per, he says, Man United are working on both Senna Le Mans and Emi Martinez deals. Only one will join Manchester United, but Martinez depends on Sancho, including in talks of Aston Villa.
Literally just said that.
Meanwhile, Le Mans deal remains on with 9 hours to go. So suddenly, last night, the Sancho stuff, which I can show you this on the screen, because this came from the Athletics Aston Villa correspondent last night. It said that Aston Villa were exploring this deal for Jadon Sancho. Deal was separate. He said it was separate to that of Emi Martinez. Villa wanted to strengthen in the attack. The terms and structure of the deal need to obviously favour, but Sancho was being closely looked at. Now you're getting Fabrizio coming out and saying, well, that's the opposite. He's going that this whole Emi Martinez deal actually does include Jadon Sancho and what would happen there. So he's saying something different to what the Athletic said last night. So this is constantly changing.
You know what this is?
Constantly.
This is one of those. Obviously, we're not going to do it. This is like shut the channel down till the window closes. I'm not believing anything until someone's holding up.
Yeah,
shirt.
because 5 seconds.
We could literally stay live from now till 7 and do this all day. Of like this person said that, then someone's done this, then shout out Darmesh. Anything can happen. You know, they could both stay. You know, everyone's just saying different versions of everything.
Proper engagement farming era.
Yeah, and it is quite dangerous. It is not dangerous. That's probably too strong a word, but like a bit jarring, a bit like you can't
it's difficult to navigate. Yeah.
And I think what we shouldn't do. Yeah, you know, even though I prefer Martinez or this, that, I'm not gonna just keep jumping left, right, up, down. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we just have to wait. It's too hard to have a strong opinion on what you think's going to happen. Like it clearly is. Just stick to the real facts. And the fact is that personal terms have been agreed with both, and they're trying to see which deal makes sense to them the most. And
it's really difficult to call. This one's
50-50,
really
isn't it?
This one's a difficult one to call because it feels like trying to dissect all that. It feels like the update is, I think that United would probably prefer the Le Mans deal, but they're very conscious they're running out of time to be able to do that deal. If they feel like that one is going to take too long or they don't have enough time, they then go, right, Emi Martinez, we know we can get that one done maybe quicker. Plus, we can get Jadon Sancho out the door as well involved in that one. So that could actually 2 birds with 1 stone scenario.
Because they can't have Jadon Sancho just sitting there. Because now if Jadon Sancho, here's the thing. We talk about players having power. If Jadon Sancho says, I only want to go to Villa. I've spoken to Unai Emery now. I spoke to Rashi. He says it's good over there. It's only down the road. Obviously, I'm on loan, so my money's covered. They covered nearly all of Rashford's wages last year, didn't they? Like 95%?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it was near enough.
So Villa got that type of money to be doing that. If he says that...
But they were in the Champions League then.
They're in the Champions League, fair enough. But you know, Sancho is on less. But if he says, I want to go there, that might change stuff. That might change stuff because Man United might go... Oh, I tell you what, though, we definitely can't have Jadon Sancho just sitting here. We don't want that. But is that enough to make them go, you know?
Or they weigh up the money they're saving as well. They might go like, well, yeah, Martinez is going to cost a little bit more in wages, but we're just getting rid of some wages and Sancho's going. So actually, we have got a bit more that we could possibly spend, right? Like the PSR accountants start going, well, that come out. Technically, that would be cheaper than go and get Le Mans, actually, because we would save money.
We wanted Le Mans, well, we wanted Emi Martinez earlier in the window, loan bid rejected. Then Le Mans has been the guy that we've wanted for a while. Like you could, like you know this, you know that you wanted
Martinez might have wanted for a while. Like we said earlier on, we've been looking at him since January, haven't we? We've been linked with Martinez now for the best part of like 9 months.
It's not a shock. That is why, Owen, you're right. Let's just let this thing play out, man. We'll have the updates across the day. I think what will happen is also Ornstein Bomber will probably just come through after all of this, and he'll just say, I think all of these guys would do this. You know what's going on. Ornstein, as per usual, don't say anything. And probably while I'm live on DR or some shit at 1:15, I don't know, you're going to get Ornstein saying exclusive. Manchester United have agreed a deal with Aston Villa for 25 million plus Jadon Sancho, or Man United have agreed a deal with Royal Antwerp.
If it's Emi Martinez, Fabrizio will get that first because he's been all over Martinez. He has been, like I said, he's using the nickname. He's been doing the nickname. What's the nickname he goes for? What's the Emi Martinez? Debu. He's been all over that part of it. So if it's Martinez, Fabrizio will do it. If it's Le Mans, I reckon it'll probably come from the Athletic. They'll probably come from the Athletic.
True. That's a good way of looking at it. So basically, look out for both. But one thing we do know is that Ornstein won't speak until the thing is the thing. Do you know what I mean? So either way, whether it's Le Mans or whatever update we're looking for, we're really looking for Ornstein. You know what I mean? Unless, like you say, it's a here we go on Martinez, because I do agree with that. So we kind of just covered everything really. Sancho, I mean, again, I think he's going to go there. Yeah,
I mean, where else would he go at this point?
Doesn't have to go abroad. There's not much going on. I know he doesn't maybe care about getting in the England team, but he still's not going to want to stay and just be out of the team. Or is it like a proper thing where it's like he stays and actually does need to be reintegrated, like train with the team and then go back on the bench and shit. Like, I think it's so far off that. But with the window being as it is and hours left. But then, you know, look at Rashford last year when we were like, where's he going to go? How's he going to, what's going to happen in January? When it's like, no one's coming for him, can't afford the wages.
Wow.
And Ornstein was just like, bang, Aston Villa have said yes to Rashford, this, that, and the other.
And with the Villa one, I mean, we obviously saw them yesterday. They got absolutely hammered by Palace. And there's like this sort of feeling of like, they need players. Something. They need players because they're off it. And they might be looking at Sancho of like, look, he can come in, he can help us out. We need players. We need people in. And Jadon Sancho, obviously, look, his stock's fallen drastically, but he still would have clubs like Villa and that looking at him going, you know what, get like deadline day loan. They'll be like, because Villa fans are still, because I see Asensio's going to Fenerbahce. Some Villa fans are even like, get him, why are we not getting him back in? He did well at us last season. They're like, they need players. So United should try and leverage that if they can, you know, and like you say, try and have as much wages paid as possible. We are also less than 150 likes away from 1K likes. We still got 2,500 people watching. So if you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get to 1K likes. We're now less than 200 subscribers away as well, from 205,000. We're on the road to quarter of a mil, Fleck. Quarter of a mil.
Crazy stuff. Quarter of a mil. Also, I do want to say a little bit of a dampener.
Oh,
I know, like, we're just not going to get a midfielder, is it? Like, it's just nothing. No, like, I know people know that, like, but it's like, it's just, you know, like you that secret hope of like last minute loans, last minute. Yeah. This guy, Ornstein exclusive, Man United agree deal with, I don't know, Onana from Villa, just on loan. I'm not saying him definitely, just something. Yeah. No, it's just not that. And then you look at the window and you go, 3 attackers and a goalkeeper. Was needed, but
my prediction is, like I said this to you on the phone the other day, that I really do think, because someone mentioned it earlier on when they said Carlos, you know, Carlos, why if you could spend 100 million on Carlos Baleba now, why don't you just spend it on someone else? Because it must be stressed once again. That Baleba money was next year's money. The suggestion was like they want to get Carlos Baleba. They were planning to get him next summer. When they thought they could get him this summer, they basically moved that money forward. So that money is for next year. My theory is that they're kind of like, right, we've done a front three, we've got a goalkeeper. Next summer, it's all 4 midfielders. So it's literally like we've got 200 million to spend on a couple of midfielders. They'll try and get Baleba. A lot of other people will, but they'll try and get Baleba for 100 odd million. Maybe it'll be less by that point. Maybe he'll have a stinker of a season. But they'll try and get Baleba. And I reckon they'll try and get Adam Wharton as well. That's my prediction for next year. He's going to go next season from Palace.
Yeah. And if you look at City's midfield, you know, you've got a couple of men in there that are aging a little bit, are trying to rebuild. You've got to be careful that they don't come in as well. But there's a chance for that. You know, Arsenal looks set in midfield, Liverpool looks set in midfield, Chelsea looks set in midfield. You'd think like actually,
absolutely.
I
think United, in the same way that this summer it was like, again, hip replacement, take the old attack out, put a new one in. I think they do that next summer with the midfield. I think they literally take the old midfield out. Casemiro contract expires. Bruno probably, if he's going to go to Saudi, probably go then. So you got that midfield out. New one gets put in, I think, next season. And then maybe like they get a defender or something, like they get like a right back or something like that. You know what I mean? But I think it's new midfield next summer.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Right, people. This is deadline day. Anything can happen. We are literally, you know, we've got a saga. We've got a will he, won't he. We've got literally a 50-50 shootout of Sonny Lemans and Emi Martinez, Dibu Martinez. Sancho, is he going to go to Aston Villa? That looks like there's something there. I can't see where else he's going to go to. But listen, the window is the window. Deadline day is deadline day, and anything can happen. So let's wait and see. If there are here we goes and exclusive from Ornstein, of course we will be across that for you, whether that be live or updates, whatever it is. We will be letting you guys know what's going on. Of course, I'm going to be traveling down to DR for red carpet. That's a summer, so we'll put red carpet there. I'll be traveling down to the DR, obviously, for a weekend roundup. But even news might even break while we're on there. So there's loads of stuff happening. Yeah.
And I'll be glued to my desk today.
Yes. Owen will be glued to his desk. So anything that happens, it will be covered, we promise. Right. Take care, people.
And also with the red carpet, remember it's We're starting at 6 tonight because your red carpet's normally at 7 to 8.
Yeah.
Red carpet is still going to be 7 to 8, but we'll be live at 6 for that last hour of the transfer window. And then once we get to 7, we'll start the red carpet, and it will be
red carpet deadline day live.
Yeah, that's what it will be. So we're starting at 6, hour earlier tonight.
Yes, exactly. So be there or be square, as they always say. Right, people, take care. Come on. For me personally, guys, I will leave you with this. Emi Martinez, please. I'm just saying that. If it's Sonny Le Mans, I adjust and say, right, let's go, kid. Welcome back. Welcome to Man United.
You flip-flop. You can't change your opinion on what you want. How dare you? How dare you? Sometimes I feel Martinez. Sometimes I feel Le Mans.
We're allowed to say it. The manager told us. Take care. Peace. Oh, wait. Is there any... Have we done all super chats? There you go.
I don't know.
Aki says that flip-flop fans, players, hierarchy, manager. LOL. And Bruno says, morning Flex and Owen, hope you're both well. Ideally, we get Martinez and Le Mans. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Let Le Mans be an understudy for a couple of seasons. # hopes and dreams. Yeah, definitely hopes and dreams. That would just be the most perfect situation out of it, really.
Yeah.
Ake says, what we doing, guys? No goalkeeper in midfield. Season write-off. Well, we're waiting on the goalkeeper. I think we will. James says, guys, where's the potential? Oh, we've read that one. So we are up to date. Didn't want to leave without finishing off that. Right, guys, we are out of here for the second or third time. Peace.